Okay, that's the mailbag segment music, but this is just a single
You're on top of that cake.
mailbag segment. I wanted to just ask one question before we get into the next topic, because I really want to hear everybody's opinions on this. It was kind of fun. By the way, mailbag questions come into us through any of our social media outlets. You can find those on keepingitre.com. Top right-hand corner, whatever you're comfortable with. You can leave us a voicemail at 562-888-BEACH. And I'll give you the email because Scott's not here to give me crap about it. It's keepingitrealestateonthebeach@gmail.com. He always tells me, don't give out the email because it's too long. It's blah, blah, blah. Anyway, get a hold of us and get us some questions because we love it. By the way, we are coming to you from K-Beach Global Radio on the campus of Long Beach State University. All right, Dennis wanted to know, how much does it affect a buyer's ability to negotiate a good price and get their offer accepted if they have to sell their house first, which is commonly known as contingency?
Are we speaking of today, like today's
We're talking about
market,
today.
what happened in the last 10 days?
What's going on right now as we sit here? What effect does it have on buyers' ability to negotiate price and get an acceptance if they have to sell a house first?
Major effect. Unless that property's been sitting on the market for 200 days and that seller will take anything that they can get.
Right.
It's going to be difficult because you're dealing with multiple offers on everything. The inventory is not fantastic, but the buyer demand is very high. And why would, even if you were 5,000 over, why would myself as a seller take the risk that your escrow behind you falls apart and then now you can't buy my house and I passed up on the guy who was 5,000 less, but he's ready to go.
All cash, 27 days, boom.
Right. Not even necessarily cash, but he's ready to go. His finances are in place. His loan is approved. He's ready to move.
So what has been part of the real estate landscape forever, the contingency piece, is now kind of an evil thing. It's not. I mean, for the most part,
everyone had
you have a house, and you got to sell your house, and then you're going to buy this house, and then that person's going to sell that house and buy this house, and it's a chain. But all of a sudden, and not all of a sudden.
Well,
I mean, I've seen this before in the market. It always fluctuates.
Yeah.
But I was afraid that your answer was going to be what it was.
It's funny how that isn't as difficult a transaction if the equities are going up. Because when the equities were going up, everybody knew behind you that house that you're selling could sell for $10,000 more in 2 weeks, you know. But now things are so unstable, the sellers just really aren't willing to take that risk.
But if there's multiple offers on the house you're trying to buy,
you would think that maybe there's multiple offers on the person behind me. Yeah,
but it's just a chance nobody wants to take right now.
You know, and this is, I think, is where the hesitancy is. So now your sale, which is the up leg, let's say, is affected by the appraisal that you have nothing to do with. That transaction is affected by that appraisal. So all of their problems are now becoming your problems, which is why contingencies are not really
what do you do? Because I think
right now.
more people are in the situation of having a house to sell before they buy a house than not.
Be smarter. And I'm just the title guy, so maybe I'm overstepping here. It would be smarter to sell and close and rent. And then be clean going in.
I was going to say the same thing. It's
sell your house.
Or find a sucker.
Or do if you can get someone who really wants a house, is do a seller leaseback. Yeah. Okay, well,
what's that?
Where you close the escrow, but the buyer agrees to let you stay there for 90 days after the close because
giving you a chance to buy another house,
which is tough too, though, because remember that buyer maybe they're renting and they want to move in and they want to get going as soon as
everybody
possible.
wants their new house.
Right.
Yeah, but if not, like Kevin said, I agree. I'd find a real inexpensive rental, throw stuff in storage, and have already been shopping.
Man, that's a pain, though. I mean, we're tossing this around here in the booth like it's no big deal, but
it's a big deal.
I hope everybody in the booth has been. I've been there a number of times, man. That having to temporarily rent for 6 months or 4 months or whatever, and sticking stuff in, use space storage, that's a pain.
Right.
And people don't want to do it. So, can you just kind of neglect to say it? Can you say, "I'll buy your house"?
No, you can't.
Why not? That 40% of the agents are dorks. No. They may not ask you if there's a contingency.
Don't do it.
Well, actually, you're supposed to disclose to them if it's contingent upon the sale of another.
Stuff. I swear to God.
Don't do it.
Disclose. All right, so what Dennis was afraid of is absolutely true. If you have to sell a house before you can buy a house, don't go writing offers because they're going to laugh at you.
Not in today's market.
Well, they're not gonna laugh at you. You just have to find that right seller. Like I said, that seller who's been on market for 200 days, and they just
Find the sucker.
they need to
But how many
whoever they
people
can
are
take.
really desperate at this point? I mean, knock on wood. There's the market's going nuts right now. People are buying like crazy. But it's for the most part, it's the cheap
it's
houses.
that seller that if you've seen in 200 days, they really haven't given any kind of price decrease. They have a bottom line,
Right,
and it's got
the
to
price
be met.
is too high.
If you're willing, well, here's the thing: if you're willing to meet their bottom line, then they are very likely to accept you because you're going to hit their price.
Right.
That's where you're not going to get the deal, though. But
Right,
that's
you're going to
what
pay
you
more
have-
money.
That's what you have to do, though, to get.
It's going to cost you.
Yeah, it's going to cost you.
Wow, that's just that's a crazy time.
yes.
It's a crazy time in real estate.